This is just a friendly reminder that the music you listen to is literally programming your subconscious. And most of the music today is absolute garbage, filled with hate, fear, anger, and subliminal messaging. We are energetic beings, and sound is energy. So when you are blasting yourself with this low vibrational music, you are tuning your frequency to sickness, both mentally and physically. So you need to understand that we are 99.97% water on a molecular level. And studies have shown that when water is exposed to these hateful frequencies, it changes the structure to that of chaos and even breaks it down. So what do you think this music is doing to our body? You need to be mindful of the music you're listening to, because it's not just a song, it's a spell. Turn you into a low vibrational, sick, depressed, disempowered consumer.
So all we have is a metal plate, and we sprinkle on some sand. What you see here is completely formless. In other words, there's no pattern at all. Then we take a violin bow, and we're going to play the plate with the violin bow. You see a beautiful star appears on the plate. Now, that pattern that forms is basically the sound made visible, and it's kind of magic. And now what happens when we make this plate vibrate from an electronic piano?
He said, look, fellas, I'm not going to pressure you into anything, okay? But I want to show you what the spirits can do for a devoted servant. We went downstairs, not through the staircase that I thought for the worshipper of the gods, but at the other end of the building. Went downstairs, and a number of times I'd gone there to the men's room, and I heard these typewriters clicking like the dickens. Man, it's going. I said, why do we have a lot of people typing in there, in that room? Well, we went there that evening, and he knocked, and the man says, come on in. And there was all those typewriters moving along by themselves, typing at the speed that I'd never seen before. And not only that, the high priest says, I want to show you something clever. So he says, follow me. So we went around the table. There was like two long tables, and they had about 10 typewriters. And he says, now notice that the typewriter types to the right, then doesn't go back. It types back to the left. Isn't that something? I had never heard of things like that before.
Total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. Thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master is cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master.
Raise your hand if you heard anything right away. Okay, that was without me even telling you anything. I've seen a lot of hands go up. Forward. Your stairway lies on the whispering wind. Forward it says, and your stairway lies on the whispering wind. Backwards it says, because I live with Satan. Listen carefully. Raise your hands if you heard that. Quite clear, quite obvious. Let's listen on. says the piper's calling to join him, or forward. Backwards it says the Lord turned me off. Raise your hands if you heard that. Forward it says, and it makes me wonder. Backwards it says, there's no escaping it.
كل حرف اصلا من حروف اللغه العربيه لها ذبذبات، يعني لما نقول ها مثلا، الها دي اقل تردد، السين دي اعلى تردد. الكلمات القران، معلش اخلي الصوره بس شويه، كلمات القران لها لكل كلمه فيها لها اطوال موجيه
محدده. ده كان صوت عادي، ده
تؤثر
بره كان عندنا صوت عادي.
ده كان صوت، يعني بيشوفوا تاثير الصوت، لقوا ان الخليه، ان الصوت ده عمل زي ريزونانس او توافق مع ذبذبات الخليه، لكن ايه بقى، وراحت مولده كمان مجال مغناطيسي عالي وتفاعلت مع هذا الصوت، يعني ده مجال مغناطيسي عالي عن الخليه، تفاعلت مع هذا الصوت. لكن اكتشفوا ايه بقى، يعني ممكن اجيب لكم التجارب كمان، يعني اهم تجارب يعني، اوكي. اكتشفوا ايه بقى، ان الخليه اكثر حاجه تتفاعل بيها هي صوت الشخص ذاته، يعني هي صوت الانسان، ترددات صوت الانسان نفسه بتتفاعل اكثر حاجه، ان هي الخليه عن بعد بتتعرف على صوت الانسان، فما بال بقى وهي داخل جسمك. لدرجه ان في عالم اخذ خلايا دمويه وكان على بعد وسلط عليها كذا اصوات وكذا، وبعدين لما جه صوت الانسان نفسه، وخاصه هو بيقول حاجه كويسه يعني حاجه خيره، لقى ان الخليه بتتفاعل مع صوت الشخص ذاته، وخاصه لما يقول حاجات خيره بتتفاعل معاها، ان هي تصدر مجالات مغناطيسيه وبتقوى الجدار بتاعها، وبتعالج محتوياتها الخلل اللي في التقطيب الداخلي. يعني التقطيب الداخلي ده في
اي خلل كان فيها بتقدر